Sixers win it! Wow!
Oh, man, Embiid just posterized Russell Westbrook.
You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get a hell yeah!
What is up, guys? What's going on? Welcome to Party on Broad. The Sixers draft target draft preview continues today. We're talking about a swingman, a potential 3-and-D guy. He is Marcus Bagley, a freshman out of Arizona State. And joining me today to break it all down, the man, the myth, the legend, he is Tiago. Follow him on Twitter at @tscabia. Tiago, how you doing, buddy?
Good, man. It's a 3-and-D without the D right now, and with questionable 3. But there's something there. I mean, the guy is exciting for a reason. There's a reason why we're talking about him. But he's an interesting name. I think it's gonna be interesting to talk about.
Yeah, we're talking about tape. Let's start the tape. Like, he doesn't stand out like a Jared Butler, like a Trey Murphy, like a Duarte, at least for me. But let's talk about his strengths. Let's talk about his weaknesses. Let's talk about his fit with the Philadelphia 76ers. Tiago, what are his strengths?
Well, first off, like, you guys may recognize the name Marvin Bagley. So Marcus Bagley is actually his younger brother. So Marvin Bagley was a high draft pick, lottery draft pick for the Sacramento Kings. Different type of player, but you already see the NBA pedigree in his game. Had a tremendous start to the year this year. Like, blew out of the water. Had a good game against Villanova. Scouts had his name very high on the board. And over the course of a year through January, his play dipped. And then he had a calf injury that kind of sidelined him for the rest of the year. So he went from a very hot name to a very cold name and put his name out of the draft circles this year. What you read from him so far is that scouts a little bit, hot and cold on him, which may mean that he may just withdraw his name entirely from the NBA draft process. So it's not certain that he's going to be there in the NBA, but if he is available in the draft this year, he should be a player who the Sixers will likely have on their board and may just be available for them in that 28, 29 range. So, yeah. So, he's a guy definitely worth checking out because, we can talk about his strengths, Chris, and we can see it on the video itself. The shooting, very fluid, very confident, NBA range, very active on the glass. So a lot like his brother, he just plays with a high energy level, long, so over 7'2" wingspan, 6'8", 215 pounds, has that kind of NBA type pedigree body. And he uses it to his advantage at the small forward. So attacking the glass, being active around the rim. You start thinking about how teams can utilize him, perhaps as like a rim runner, a screen and roll type player that, plays that small forward, power forward position. So when you look at the shooting, the potential shooting, the NBA pedigree, the NBA body, and perhaps how teams can be more creative in how to use them, there's definitely something there for teams to unlock. And he could end up being quite a steal in that 28, 29 range.
Yeah, this is like one of those potential picks for sure. You look at the majority of this guy's offense, it's clearly, catch and shoot, corner threes, which the Sixers absolutely, you can never have enough guys that hit the corner three. Let's talk about weaknesses, man. What does this guy struggle with? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. So,
oh man, I should be laughing.
Defensively, it's just not there right now. And so a couple of things. I do wonder about, 6'8", 215. But if you look at his body, like Jason Tatum is 6'8", 220. But Jason Tatum is like wide shoulders, strong. Bagley, I don't see that in his body. He's more of a narrow body, skinnier legs. So when you watch him play in college, he already struggles with power. In Arizona likes to have him defend up a couple positions. You can just really see like he struggles with power. So can he add that type of strength to the NBA game? That's something I'm kind of skeptical about. He may just be a lighter player like some of these wingers that just can't defend that position. So, and then just how he approaches like defense drives me nuts because like he's a guy who's very long, over 7'2" wingspan, but he attacks closeouts defensively like he's like a 5-foot point guard. Just instead of kind of approaching it balanced and using your reach to kind of disrupt the shot, he just kind of gets up in the air, runs at the defender and jumps. So very raw positional defender, and doesn't make as much of an impact in space as I was expect in terms of creating turnovers, deflections. He's got that Robert Covington-like reach, but we all watched Robert Covington here, man. Like, the guy was a space wizard. Like, he could understand how to play angles, how to play passing lanes, and Bagley just doesn't have that in his game right now. Not to say that he can't, but you just don't see those same instincts defensively as some of the other 3-and-D prospects and 3-and-D players in the NBA that you've seen. So he's got to work on that a lot. And then the shot selection, man. I mean, maybe you can speak to that, Chris. It's some of his shots are just wild, man.
Yeah, you talk about shooting, because that's the main sell here is that he's got a lot of length. He could shoot over a lot of players there from the perimeter, but the shooting isn't good enough. The shooting. If we're gonna draft this guy in the second round, you better be a bang up like 40+% 3-point shooter. He shot 34% last year in 6 3-point attempts per game, 72 3-point shots overall. He only shot 71.9% from the free throw line. I quickly looked at his high school stats from 3-point range. As a senior, he shot 37% from 3-point range. He shot 33% from 3-point range his junior year in high school. Only a field goal percentage of 48% in his senior year from the field. So this guy's not the playmaker. This guy's not the kind of off the dribble kind of guy that you kind of like. But as a role player, I expect more. I'm definitely looking for better.
One part on the shooting, because like you can watch it on the clips, like the form is pretty clean and it's pretty fluid. So when you mention some of those numbers, those very bad shooting numbers, like a lot of it, I think, is just tied to shot selection and just a lack of spacing on the court, and his just willingness to try to do more than he probably should, especially on the ball. Because like when he's in space and he's got time to rise, like he's got a pretty clean release. So, you start to envision like an NBA program, having space, having time, not time, but kind of having a structure to shoot. His numbers may sky up pretty significantly. But again, you're looking at the free throw percentage. So 71% free throw shooting. That's not great either. So that's what makes scouting and drafting so hard. You have to project, man. Like, yeah, you may look good on film, but it may not look good in the NBA. So this guy's a very tough guy, man, to figure it out for sure.
I just don't see it. Like, I just don't see the Sixers. Maybe like with their second round pick, like or like late second round pick, maybe like the Sixers. Daryl Morey sees something they can unlock and develop down in with the Delaware Blue Coats, because that's where he will go. He's got good, like you said, he's got good size. He could be that like Mike Scott role. How do you see this guy fitting in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see him being able to defend power forwards in the NBA. So for as awful as Mike Scott is, an NBA player, he can, he's strong enough that he can actually defend some power forwards and not get bullied under the rim. I don't think he's ever going to be that player. I could be wrong. I mean, he's just a freshman. So you're really looking at your classic 3-and-D swingman, small forward type player. You look at the Sixers rosters. Do they have that player on the bench right now? Matisse is your, classic 3-and-D guy, even though like his 3-pointers have not translated. He's one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA. This guy is not stealing Matisse Thybulle minutes. Not this year, not next year, probably never. So, I mean, the fit's tricky. But again, you're drafting on potential. And if you get a guy like that with an NBA type pedigree and a maybe type kind of wingspan and game, it's tough to say no. But, there's going to be guys out there on the board that are probably going to fit a better need and are probably going to be better NBA players for the Sixers. All
right, man. Let's wrap this up. That is Marcus Bagley. Guys, if you're watching, let us know in the comments section, what do you think about his fit with Philadelphia 76ers? If you love the Sixers, give this video a like. Tiago, what do you got going on, man? Where can we find you?
Yeah, so we're just continue these NBA draft prospects. There's a lot of interesting names out there, more names to follow, some local names, some national names. So make sure to check that out. And then just the NBA playoffs are ongoing, and the Sixers are, man, they're right there, man. We could be talking championship. Who knows?
We'll see. We'll see. Game 3 tonight, baby. Let's go. Make sure you follow my man Tiago on Twitter at TScabbia, one of the best Sixers Twitter followers, period. He is Tiago. I am Dive. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Check you out next time.
Sixers win it! Wow! Oh, man, Embiid just posted right. Russell Westbrook.
You love the